Right, hello. We are live in the weekly Fast Track FBA YouTube live here to support you with your Amazon business. If you guys have got questions, do drop them down below. Honestly, I'm here to help. I'm here to answer. So really, first things first, I kind of like, obviously, if you've got questions or if you can just hear me, drop it down below. Obviously, I'm interested to know. I kind of give you a little bit update on my business. What's going on? We had lots of updates, like product health and safety complaints, which is a bit annoying. Oh my God, we got a really interesting one from Amazon USA. We don't sell in the Canadian market, but in the Canadian marketplace, we got your selling privilege has been removed because we have been linked to another selling account, which obviously we're not. So we've got to deal with that. That's going to be like a nightmare. It's not really a concern because we don't sell in the US or in Canada right now, but obviously it is a worry in the fact that we might be, if that linked account continues over to the US, that's going to be a big problem. So we'll deal with that. So a couple of people just joined. TFK ADISA, I think that's right. Hello, hey, good to see you. Let me know if you've got questions down below. Honestly, I'm here to help. I'm actually at home today rather than, should we say, in the office. I will go into the office after this. But if you can hear me, if there's anything, any questions you've got in your Amazon business, please let me know. Drop it down below, and obviously I can help you out. So I just talked about it. In Canada, we've got the problems around what do you call it? Linked accounts. So we don't sell in Canada, so it shouldn't be an issue, but I just hope it doesn't come over to the USA. We will fight it. That will be a really important point. Banzai 2001, hi all. Hey, great to see you. Let me know, you guys, if you've got questions down below, I will answer them. That's the whole point of this session, to really support you. I mean, I can obviously kind of put my own I can talk about my own business, but I'd rather help you guys out. And let's see how we're getting on. So USA, I talked about that. How's the UK getting on? Still pretty steady to 3.2 mil, I think we're on, which I'm really pleased about. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna drop that there. 3. If you can see that, it's like 3.285 million. That's the last 12 months. Really happy with that. USA done over the 500,000 mark, and we've done over 6 figures in the USA. So really good. Couple of questions coming in now. So guys, if you have got questions, drop them down below and see we're here to help. What's a new OA seller? What quantity should I be buying from the retail? Don't want to be barred anywhere. Great question. I generally don't think you're really going to have too much of a problem with any new OA kind of purchases if you're a new seller. And if you're talking about the supplier in particular, i.e. like, I'm worried about getting barred from the supplier, I wouldn't worry too much unless you're buying like more than 10 or 20 items. And most new sellers probably won't. Like, you're going to go wide, not deep. And my feedback for you would be, if it's UK boots, they'll just block you. Like, look, at the end of the day, I wouldn't really get too worried. Like, go out there and just buy, do your deal analysis, make sure you're buying the right amount. But if like, it's very unlikely you're going to buy too much from a retailer. And if you do and they get cancelled, I really recommend calling the retailer up, finding out why. And like, if they're like, oh, we think you're a reseller, just move on. Go find a better supplier. Because at the end of the day, like, my business wouldn't be where it is today if I kept trying to get under the boots minimum order by buying 1s and 2s. I couldn't do it. So yeah, like, don't really worry. Like, from a supplier, doesn't really matter. I hope, Banzai, let me know in the comments down below if that's helpful. You said, yeah, as a new seller, if that's helpful, then let us know. Mr. Sean Gilbert, who's taking massive action? Mr. Sean Gilbert is, and he mentioned it, Ocado banned him. So yeah, I really agree. Like, Ocado, like, by the way, Ocado has business accounts. You can actually buy business accounts, but they're not very happy. Let's kind of jump through. Facebook user here. Hey, Facebook user. In the UK, not started selling in the USA yet, but is it possible to build up a credit rating and say before I start selling in the USA? Not really. Like, you need to, like, it's kind of like saying, can I build up a credit rating in the UK without using a credit card? Like, no. Like, you need to start, like, you need to start showing transactions. And the way you kind of do it, if you want to know about building up credit rating, is by using like secured cards. So obviously you transfer money to the card, and then like say £5,000 or dollars, and then spend that, and then you get it back. And after like 3 months of doing that, they'll go, okay, we'll give you £1,000 credit limit. That's the way it works. It's called secured limit. It's not easy. It does take time. And do check out my Start Selling on Amazon USA. Really great course, by the way. We're doing over 100K a month now, which I'm actually impressed after 12 months. And I documented the entire LLC creation process down here. See that? fasttrackfba.com, Start Selling Amazon USA. You can just do courses and then look at that if you want to as well. So, but I think USA, by the way, we're getting like double the margins in the USA versus the UK. And I know people are getting way more than we are. So I think it's a much better opportunity right now. AJL. Hi, Thomas. I'll end up having to become VAT registered in the next few months. From your experience, did it take too much of a hit in the margin when you became VAT registered? A couple of things. General rule of thumb people talk about is you're going to see an 8% drop in your profits, gross profits, from what you were achieving before versus after. What does that mean if you're achieving 30% gross profit, or should we say 30% ROI? Sorry, so 8% drop in your ROI. So like, yeah, if you were doing like 30%, you're now doing about 22%, for example. It does take a hit. Also, the administration's a bit of a pain. Also, as well, you've got to be a bit of a, like, you just got to be on top of the suppliers. Like, if you're buying from suppliers who are technically based in Europe, you need to make sure they're actually UK VAT registered. That's something super important. And I think, the idea is that, but like, don't be afraid. Like, it's just part and parcel of doing the business. Like, it's like normal. Like, there's no point sitting below the VAT threshold. There's a really good video I recorded, 2 of them actually. One was about 3 years ago with a guy called Dan Gilmore. Watch that. He stayed below the VAT threshold. It's something like £71 per hour. The thumbnail, watch that. And then I recently did a recent one and re-recorded again since going over the VAT threshold. He does 3 times the VAT now, like 250K, I think, a year, and makes more money and works the same amount of hours. So you can do it. It is profitable. You do take a hit. It is more administration, but you really need to think about just hiring VAs and teams. Like, just welcome to the world of business, unfortunately. This is the way life works, and especially in trading businesses. To go over the VAT threshold is really easy, like really, really easy. AJ, let me know if there's anything down below that you want to think about or ask. Maybe speak to an accountant. We use e-commerce accountants, and also you need to do like adjusting your tools. I would probably start sourcing now with VAT in mind rather than waiting for it. The reason is if the deals you're buying now aren't profitable once you're VAT registered, if you still have those deals when you're VAT registered, it's just going to screw you. So just start increasing your deal criteria now. Sean Gilbert, massive action. Akali Bandos, I know, absolute pain. Euro with me. I have a 15K euro limit. I'm a private seller, but I've been told I should be a sole trader, selling new items, but no suspension. I've been told I only hit that mark, so it's hard to change your entity. I'm really struggling. I really don't understand what you're trying to say. Like, you're a private seller. So I'm guessing you're not talking about like you have a professional Amazon selling account. I'm guessing you're saying you're not a business, you're in sole trader. Doesn't really make a difference, unfortunately. You have a 15,000 euro limit. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Is that like the VAT threshold? I really don't I'm confused. Like, but I've been told that I should be a sole trader. Well, technically, if you're a private seller, you are a sole trader because you're trading under your name, not a limited company. That's the way it works in the UK. And you're selling new items fine, but no suspension. I've been told that I only hit that mark. It's been hard to change your identity. Yeah, I really don't understand. Like, who's telling you what? What's the problem? Can you give me a bit kind of like just a bit more background, and I'll see if I can answer it for you. Juliana, what software do you use for online arbitrage? We don't use any software. You can use like tactical arbitrage if you want. You can use like, what are the other ones? Oh my god, Arbitrage Hero and Source Mogul, and what's the other one? Intario. I've forgotten his name. I did a video with them. There's like a video like we did with them. They do European as well. You can use them. We don't. We just use VAs. And the reason is at a fundamental level, when you think about sourcing software, it shows you, like, you click like Argos, for example, or Walmart, and you click search, and it will show you deals. Now it's going to show those deals to you and everyone else who has the software. And what does that mean? Well, it means that the deal might be profitable now, but because everyone else is seeing it, you're going to have more competition and everyone's going to buy it. So really, when you're doing sourcing software, my kind of vision, my thoughts behind it are, you really want to go for like the niche stores, the kind of maybe weird things that people aren't doing, maybe like the deals which aren't profitable now, but are probably going to come back up. That would be my thoughts. And I think like the real question comes is, you just want to kind of be mindful that with sourcing software, you naturally get more competition because of the very nature of it. So for us, we don't do that. We use VAs and we get them to go source random stores, do random things. But also in addition to that, VAs, you can say, hey, look, here's a big list. Can you go find some new suppliers for it? Or this supplier is really good for us. Can you go find, see if there's any other deals? Like those kind of things make a really big difference. And what we've just found is that per hour worked, we get better results from sourcing VAs than we do from sourcing software. And that's for me personally. And I think also the other kind of testament, which kind of dictates how well something or good or bad something is look what everyone else is doing. If you look at people who are super successful, I mean like over 7 figures, they don't use sourcing software. They all use VAs. That's the very nature of it. So I generally believe like building a team is the way to go, and they do it manually. Like, it might sound crazy, but it does work. So let me know if there's anything else, Juliana, about that you want to know. Benza, yeah, great answer, thanks. Cool. Northern Flips. I typically sell used items on eBay, Amazon, sales of 15K annually. What would be the natural step for a modest cash? The natural step with a modest cash flow. Cool. Well, honestly, well done for what you're doing. I don't know what you mean by like cash flow. Are you like profits or like trying to build up? Like you're just selling used items. I'm guessing for you, the big problem when you're selling used items is like supply. You're struggling to find enough products which are going to make you enough money, which is where like buying new works really well. But it does eat a lot more cash flow. I mean, it might be that, you know, if you're getting really good margins with 15%, and I don't know how much you're making, like let's say, for example, you're making 7K at 50% net margins, which is incredible, but you could probably get on used items, then the answer just comes is like, keep doing that as much as you can, and then maybe look at like kind of like get a leads list and like sell on Amazon brand new items with a prep center. You know, it's kind of like any money you can't invest in used items, go try and run through brand new items. That would be my thoughts. But like really that kind of that new side is an area whereby you just want to be very time efficient, and you can just put money in there when you want to, but also pull it out when you don't need it so that you can put it back into your used items. Why? Because the used items are probably where you're making all the money, the cash profits. But when you've got more cash than you can invest, well, then you just go shove it into new quickly, let it churn, and then bring it back out again when you want it. Northern Flips, I hope that makes sense. And I don't know if that's really what you mean, but give me a bit more detail and I'll see if that I can help answer. Guys, if you've got questions, let me know down below. I will answer them. All about music. Is it correct to say that I can't start selling without VAT registered? No. If you're a UK national or a UK company, you can sell in the UK without being VAT registered, i.e. you're a UK entity. That's fine, and you can go up to 85,000. But if you are not within the UK, or should we say, within the UK, then you do need to be VAT registered before you start selling. That's correct. So if you're like a French national, you have to register for the UK if you're holding stock in the UK. If you're in America and you want to sell in the UK, yes, day one, sell anything, you have to be VAT registered. I hope that makes sense. AJL, great answer, thank you. I'm definitely not planning on staying below the VAT threshold. I've also partnered with a team at e-com accountants. I have full faith in the guys there. Yeah, it's cool. I use them. Joe, I know, so that's great. My margins are tight at the moment intentionally because I prefer to flip the quickest cash. May need to look at some more profitable, maybe slower moving items short and still profitable. Yeah, agreed. And I think at the end of the day, revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. It's something really important to understand. Yeah, Joe and the e-com accountants team are really good. I think just for you really is put in your put in the VAT sourcing threshold now, start sourcing at that. And even if you're turning maybe a quick bit of cash, that's fine, but at least you're doing it profitably when you go VAT threshold. VAT registered, that's an important one. Let's keep going. 1 second. I'm just going to drink some water. Banzai 2001. I'm currently sourcing products with 20% profit margin over 5 sellers and at least 15 sales per month. But I'm staying away from products without a buy box. Cool. Like, quick thing, you can products without a buy box still sell. Like, you can see it on the Keepa chart. Look at the sales rank, and you'll see the drops even when there's no buy box. It does sell, and if that's working for you, fantastic. Yeah, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Yeah, fine, really good. AJL, last question. This will be my first Q4. When are you planning on preparing for that? I was thinking around August, September time. Are you stocking up? Look, it's up to you. A couple of things I would just really think about. If we're just talking about pure stock, like, let's say, for example, you're making 20%. You know, Banzai here is doing 20%. Let's call it 20% ROI. He's doing profit margin, so we'll assume ROI. So if you're doing 20% ROI, and let's say, for example, you can turn your products in 2 months, then that means if in, let's say, for example, August, which is the 8th month, you could buy in August, sell, get it money back in October, that's 20%, buy in October and sell again ready for December, that's another 20%. So that means you're making 20% twice, which is at least 40%, not including compounding. So that means if I'm going to start stocking up in August, for example, I want to make sure that the product I'm going to be selling in December will be doing at least 40%, if that makes sense. Otherwise, I could have flipped it twice, and I would have actually made more once you adjust for compounding. So I think for you, the question comes is, it's okay to stock up, but like at least make sure you're making really good margins on it. And you know, what am I talking about there? 50%? Because I think you can probably flip. Like, yeah, like we will probably start stocking up. I say that though. Like, what do I mean by that? Well, we'll start buying very heavily in bigger bulks, end of September, early October, all the way through till like December. And what we'll probably do is we'll probably just reduce our pricing strategy down so we're not so competitive, so we can hold on to stock a bit longer, because we don't want to kind of like sell through too early. So that's one thing. The other one is when you talk about when are you planning to prepare for that? Like, you're talking about stock. I talk about like logistics, people. So we talk about hiring VAs, getting ready. Like, you know, my God, like, we're in May now, and I've already started doing my manpower plan for Q1 next year. So we already know, like, we know how many purchases we need ready for Q1. So that's in Q4. They need to be ready. Q4 is a big time. Like, you're right about stock, but also don't forget people. And VAs take about 3 months to get ready. So if you want to, like, if you've got cash and you want to invest in VAs, you know, do look at Fast Track FBA VA Academy. You know, we hire and train VAs. But I think the idea is that you are, if you're going to start stocking up in October, you really want your VA in place probably July. So your VAs in July, they get up, and by October they are smashing it, and they come into Q4 and they're just like buying 10,000 a week in stock, very, very happy. And that's going to make a really big difference. So don't do that too late. That's a really important point. Also, as well, prep centers. A lot of prep centers will shut down in Q4, i.e. like they won't accept. So if you do want a prep center, make sure you get it before Q4. I hope that makes sense, AJL. Let me know down below. So Banzai 2, I'm currently sourcing products 20%, profit margin of 5%. Yeah, just mentioned that one. Should I also consider those that are buy box? Yeah, they do sell. Yeah. Great stream, by the way, dropping absolute gems. Cool. No, honestly, glad I can help. And thanks for joining. Honestly, hit the like button if you like it. Glad I can help. I like doing these. These are really good fun. Hey, I'm not an expert. Tom's coming up. Okay, hi, mate. I was going to PM you, Ari is here, but I just wondered if you have had any issues with Wise. I was flagged as politically exposed person last week. They put a freeze on payments and the team's pay was over a week late. I finally got it sorted and paid through the team about an hour ago. I requested information via the Freedom of Information Act, but on why I was flagged awaiting this glad as bizarre issue. Sorted, Lloyd Jones. Yeah, I've never had that before. My top tip, if I'm up here, is to say, yeah, like I wouldn't even like, it sounds a bit like serious. You don't freedom of information. I'd just like get in contact with support and ask the question and say, hey, like, I'm a bit worried. We've got to make payments on time. Like, what's the situation? Like, I've never heard of that before. So yeah, like I get in contact with the support, see what's happened. You know, we've a lot of times had support with them. They've been generally really good. So never this issue at all. Like we do get an annoying one where like my UK payments to my USA business always get stopped for advanced questions, and I just have to click it's from me, and then that's it. It's like, oh my god, annoying. But yeah, nothing else. We've never had that. So I just say speak to their support and do it. But like worst case scenario, you might look at like another like TransferWise or like not TransferWise, like World First or like PayPal as a backup. But I think obviously as long as you support the team and talk to them, you're fine. Like never had that problem at all. So yeah, let us know how you get on. Honestly, English with me. If you're storing inventory in the UK and you're selling new items within Amazon's policy, you should be registered as a sole trader business if you're selling new items. I'm a private seller. Yeah, so if you're like, okay, the 15K disbursement limit is like 15K disbursement limit. And I say that loosely. It's not really like a limit. It's just my understanding of it, and I might not be right, is to say you can go up to 15K and then they'll do more checks on you. And then once you pass them, you can continue building. Like, I think we had it about probably like 750,000 as well. So I have a 15 and 750,000 mark. We've had a couple since then. You just see it. They say your selling account is under review, and you're like, and it was fine. So, but yeah, like if you're storing inventory in the UK, you should be registered as some kind of business entity, sole trader or business if you're selling new items. Like, I'm guessing so. It might be the case that you've got a really old account and you've managed to create it without having to provide like business details. But like you should just, if you've got that, i.e. like your unique taxpayer reference number, which is sole trader or a limited liability company, then just get set up now and just give it to Amazon and you'll be fine. Like, that's all I'd say. Ethan, my friend submitted an invoice for ungating, changed the delivery address to match their Amazon address, and typing the word invoice in there. Should they await Amazon response or close the case and run? Amazon are quite strict about you should never change the documents. And I think if Amazon suspect you changed it, I would be very like worried, because they can, even if like everything's fine, but actually you've tried to manipulate a document, there's a problem there. So I would just do nothing and wait for Amazon's response. You might be lucky, but like closing the case and running, like I don't think you can close the case. You've already passed it back to Amazon. Amazon will now close the case. So there's nothing, you can't close it. You're just gonna have to wait. But like top tip, like if anyone's listening, don't ever change documents at all. Like if you need it changed, go back to your supplier. Like you can ask your supplier, hey, you've got my delivery address on, that's fine, but I also need my office address. Can you put a ship to and a bill to address? That's fine. And it doesn't, like the word invoice, they should always have invoice or like receipt or something. Like I wouldn't really get too caught up. Like I think you'd be all right. At the end of the day, changing invoice details is very dangerous because potentially you're going to risk losing your account. It's sort of quite against terms and conditions. Let's jump through. English with me. If I'm a UK citizen, but I'm not in the UK, like my actual location, do I have to be in the UK? I'm confused. With establishment, I don't have a physical store. Yeah, so like if you're a UK citizen, that's fine. If your registered correspondence address for Amazon is outside the UK, I don't really know how that works. But if I were you, I would just personally go find a virtual office address and register there and change the address over, so that now you look like you're established in the UK. Like if you know anything about me, I technically live in Mexico City, but my UK registered business address is in the UK, and that's the way we work. And you can still do that as a private seller as well, like, or as a sole trader, you can have a virtual office address in the UK and use that. Just type in virtual office address UK and you'll find loads of them. Yes, it's going to cost you, but like it might make things a lot easier. Like your questions right now from Amazon might be like because you're located in France, for example, and they're like asking lots of questions that cause the problem. So I would create a virtual office address, solve the problem. They're not very expensive, 200 quid a year, done, and they'll forward all the mail to you. All about music. I'm not in the UK. I'm in Portugal now, and I can't register assessment as self-employed. I do what I just said to English to me, create a virtual office address. That was me. Or maybe like has a friend, maybe you can just like set up temporarily in their address, their house, and then do that. Otherwise, the only other way of doing it is to set up as a limited company and do that through a virtual office address. That's the important one. So yeah, like I kind of get, I think I see your point. It's the same thing in English with me. Like you're a UK national, but you don't no longer live in the UK. So it starts posing big questions. Like it makes it complex, and complexity is the enemy. So really like just try and make it look like you're in the UK, even using a virtual office address. I hope that makes sense. Let me know down below all about me if that helps. Sorry about the banging. Oh. Right, Northern Flips. Thanks. Buy cash flow. I have 1 to 2K in the kitty to spend. Need to split cash flow, as you said, but also holding for future tax, scale up logistics. Only source 1 day a week. I hate to lie, but like 1 to 2K really isn't very much. Like, and like 1 to 2K is okay, but like you've got to have time. And it sounds like you're doing the kind of flipping in on the side yourself, doing the used items, and you're only doing that in 1 day a week, and you really want to kind of just invest this money in like a couple of hours a week. That's it. Look, if it's going to be me, it sounds like your used items are doing well, and you should be getting, like, put it this way, if you're not getting any more than like 30% ROI, like maybe it might not be worth it. But if you're, hopefully when you're doing used, you should be getting like at least 50% ROI. I.e., you put down like, £10 on an item, and then after all costs, everything, you're getting back 15, which is your 10 invested and then 5 back. Like, you should be getting that at least on used items, if not more, probably 100% ROI you want to get at least. And then that'd be it. So like, I would just try and find better ways to invest that 1 to 2K in your used items. Don't get me wrong, like, I provide services for arbitrage sellers, but I really like 1 to 2K is okay to start in arbitrage, and like it's a decent amount. You can get going, but like, the other problem comes time. And by it looks now you're saying I'm only sourcing 1 day a week, so I just don't think that's going to be that valuable. I keep investing in what you're doing, and I always see it with people like they're doing Amazon, they're doing like 10K a month, fantastic, and they're like, right, let's start eBay, and I'm like, no, don't do it, because starting eBay is so much more time, and how much profit you're going to generate for that amount of extra work you're going to have to do probably isn't going to be worth it. Like, you'd be much better to invest that time in growing your 10K a month to 15, and now you get much better profit out of it. So diversification really is the enemy when you're not doing like good numbers and you haven't outsourced a lot of your business, because you should just keep scaling that wheel that's working. Hope that makes sense. I may not be in the UK. Do I need to be VAT registered? I don't. You need to speak to an accountant. Like, you really need to speak to an accountant. Like, here's the thing. Like, you're technically not in the UK, so possibly yes. But like, if you were then registered under a virtual address in the UK, then the answer would probably be no. I don't know the answer. I really don't. You need to speak to an accountant. Like, I just call e-com accountants. You can book in a free call and then ask them. They will help you out. I don't know the exact answer, and it's a tax question, and I never really have to deal with it. So sorry. Facebook user, yeah, very bizarre. Let's get it sorted. Lloyd, cheers, Lloyd. Glad. I hope you do. Ross, guys, if you've got questions, drop it down below. I've got half an hour, so I will answer all your questions. I promise you that. Hey, what's your best method for estimating sales? Are there variations using programs such as SellerAmp? I do like SellerAmp. By the way, SellerAmp is really good, and I'll tell you why I like SellerAmp. Couple of things. Number one is I know the seller, I know the builder, the guy who made it, Al Carton, and he's really good. So what you generally tend to find is a lot of the software tools, when they're above like the listing sales are above like 20, 30, they're pretty good. Like, they give you a good estimation or up to like 5,000, fine. But when they start getting below 20 or 30 sales a month, they really start getting a bit wrong, and they go like no sales. And then that's when you have to flick over to Keepa and redo the count the drops methods. But Al's really good in the fact that he's actually understood that, and he integrated both the Keepa method and the high end and put them together into the calculations for SellerAmp. And I really like that. I think he's done a really good job. So for me, like, I just think, like, definitely, SellerAmp is really good. If it's going to be me, use your profit and calculator tool for anything above 20 sales per month on the listing, and anything below that, I'd be counting the drop method on Keepa. That'd be pretty much it. So that's how we do estimating. And look, and don't get me wrong, like, we'd always look at SellerAmp, check the sales, and then just look at Keepa and do an estimation. I think that's a really important point. So for you guys, do look at, do a double check, with two tools, maybe the calculator tool and Keepa, make sure they're fine. But yeah, really good. Great answer. AJL, English is talking about being an individual selling plan, professional one. Yeah, like, English with me, like, move over to the professional one. It's $5 extra. And if that's what you're talking about, yeah, like £5 extra per month, and you can win the buy box. On individual, you can't. Like, it's just not worth it. Like, hopefully you're selling more than 5 units per month. Like, you've got to move over to the professional selling account. Thanks for that. There is an option to close the case as of now. Okay, cool. I don't know the exact answer. Perhaps, maybe you can close it. Fine. But I just never change an invoice. Dangerous. Penny. I have a UK registered business. Okay, fine. Address, fine. That's what I sign up with. Okay, fine. So I think you should be fine. Like, if you're not over the £85,000 threshold and you have a UK registered business and you're a UK national, I think you'd be fine. Again, speak to an accountant. Any tips on how to source wholesale? Yeah, I'll give you one really good tip. Okay, 3 things. Number 1, check out my YouTube channel. There's some really good interviews. Watch me Amazon. Amazon Lit. They do 50 million. Check them out. Really good. Todd, like 3 top tips for wholesale. I think that's really good. Watch that video. He does some really good, like just 3 really simple guides, which I think are really good to work out on. 2 tips that I'll share with you. Number 1, for wholesale, first top tip is find a product that you like, call the manufacturer up and ask to find out who their distributors are. Like, don't go looking for wholesalers, just call the manufacturer. They'll tell you who the distributors are. Call the distributors, try and open accounts. If they won't, ask them who they sell to and then open accounts with them. That's it. Like, work from the supplier backwards. Number 2 is the fact that the price you see on the supplier isn't the price you pay. The more you buy, the bigger discount you're going to get. So long story short is, just because they're giving you a CSV file with prices which aren't competitive doesn't mean you're going to be paying that price. There's something to think about. So do that and you can negotiate discounts. I'm just going to shut the window because it's quite noisy. Working from home, noisy day. Right. Let's sit back down again. Okay, Ross P. I hope that makes sense, Leo. Let me know down below. I'm getting a VA soon. What's the best way to go about if I'm on holiday and don't have access to laptops or buy deals? Do you still pay them? Yeah, my God. What if you're on holiday and your boss doesn't have the laptop to buy deals? He doesn't want to pay you. That's his problem, not yours. Doesn't mean you shouldn't get paid. That's the best way to lose a VA. So I would still pay them. My God, you can still buy the deals afterwards. I'll give you a statistic. Within Fast Track FBA leads, we kind of calculated that the average time a deal would remain on sale with a supplier is about 9 days. So, if you're away for a week, you can just about get by. But it's a couple of days, not a problem. Yeah, why not take the laptop on holiday with you? Like, just do a couple of hours worth of work. Welcome to the nomad lifestyle. That's all I'd say. And they don't work. No, pay them. Trust me, they're an investment. Is the RA and wholesale less than RA? Yes, I generally think so. The general rule of thumb, that's what a lot of people say. I can't speak from experience. They're different. Like, generally, RA, you can start with lower money, you get much better ROI, but in wholesale is more cash investment needed, lower ROI, but you can buy bigger bulk. That's why. Let's jump through. Hi, hey, good to see you. Okay, cool. Guys, if you've got questions, drop me down below. Hello, how are you? Big fan of yours. Thank you, cool. Thank you for letting me know. If you've got questions, let me know down below. Hi, I'm a beginner who is going to start online arbitrage, but I'm confused with the Keepa chart. Kindly help me with the Keepa chart. I'm just like, I could be here forever. I'll share one tip with you. I'll share 2. Tip 1 in regards to Keepa, watch my Keepa playlist. Fast Track FBA YouTube channel, Keepa playlist. Really, there are 3 videos I've done. Beginner, advanced, and expert level. Watch them. They're very, very good. I talk them through. I explain everything that's going on. Like, they're about a year and a half old, but they're still very, very valid. And I do really like them. Number 2, and a lot of people don't talk about this. Let's be very crystal clear about why you are reading the Keepa chart. Now we talk about like what buy box. When we talk about the buy box, like you're talking about, should I use the 90-day price? Should I use the average price? Should I use anything? And the answer is you shouldn't use any one of them in isolation. There is no one answer. Let's be very crystal clear. Keepa records the data in the past. What are we doing? Well, we're looking at the historic data of the product to predict where the product will be if we were to buy this product today and sell it in, I say, 2 weeks' time. So say, for example, I'm going to buy, I don't know, these headphones. Right now, the Keepa chart might be like, it might be like, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. But like, what I want to ask is looking at the history of the product through the Keepa chart, if I buy these products from the supplier today and I ship them to Amazon and they're on sale in 2 weeks' time, what do I think the market conditions will be like? And let's be clear, when I talk about market conditions, I'm talking about the buy box price, I'm talking about the sales rank, I'm talking about the competition, the new seller count. And what I'm really looking to do is I'm trying to see where all those lines are going and try and understand what's happening with them so that I can answer the question, what will the market conditions be like in 2 weeks' time when my headphones, when they land on the Amazon marketplace. So there is no one definition and answer. It's about what's happened in the past, what's going to likely happen in the future. And that's what you're trying to look for. So watch my Keepa training videos, are really helpful, and then analyze the information with the mindset of what's going to happen in 2 weeks' time. And if you feel confident in that prediction, buy the product. If you're not sure or you think it's going to go the wrong way, i.e. down, don't buy the product. That's all I can really say. So your advice would be to have an LDA company. LDA? Oh, I'm guessing you're trying to do limited. A limited company, better than try register for self-employed. I think you need to speak to an accountant. Call e-commerce accountants, have a chat with them. I'm just going to go back up to your previous comment and have a quick look. I'm not in the UK, I'm Portugal, and well, if you can't register for self-assessment as self-employed, the only other option would probably be to create a limited company. That's what you said previously. I can't register for self-assessment. But I would really come back and be like, I think you probably can register for self-assessment. You might just have to like change your address or something. But if you've officially left the UK, i.e. you're no longer a UK taxpayer, then yeah, I understand that. Then I'm guessing the only other option would be to create a limited company. You could create a company in Portugal and trade over to the UK and do it that way. That's fine. Again, speak to an accountant. I'm not a tax professional. Speak to them. Because when I tried, it doesn't work because they ask me my national insurance number and UK address I don't have. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's the point. You don't have a national insurance number and you don't have a UK address. So if you don't have them, you won't be able to register. So you can create a limited company in the UK with a Portuguese information, I believe. I don't think that's a problem. So yeah, I think that works. Yeah, but speak to an accountant. Like, I'm not a tax professional. Speak to an accountant. Guys, if you've got questions, drop them down below. I'm here to help, but like, honestly, like, just let me know your questions and I will answer them. We've got 22 minutes. Let's kind of go through. Right. As a beginner, I'm having difficulties finding deals. Any suggestions? Yeah, watch my Fast Track FBA playlist sourcing techniques. Do that. Keep sourcing for 3 months, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. It's hard. I promise you, it's hard. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it and becoming a millionaire, but they're not. And it's hard. Like, that's the whole point. You've just got to keep trying. And here's the thing, like, you're probably sitting here going like, hi, Tom, can you tell me like which store is the best store? Which sourcing method is the best method? And I just want to kind of share something with you. Let's say, for example, right now, the supplier Walmart was the best store. And if you use reverse sourcing with Walmart, you will find so many deals. It's crazy. Like, the moment I share that, like, everyone else is going to share that with their friends. They're going to share that with their friends. And then what's going to happen? They're all going to do it. And then what's going to happen is that this amazing opportunity to source Walmart with reverse sourcing to find lots of profitable products is going to go down because everyone is doing it. So the long story short is, generally speaking, there is no one supplier. There is no one store which is like, this is the amazing store. It doesn't exist. But there are suppliers and stores which work better than others. We know that from the top 100 supplier list. But what you need to think about is, like, you need to find out what works for your business and then keep that to yourself. Like, what I'm not going to do right now is I'm not going to go, here are 10 deals I found today. If you guys want to buy them as well, like, that'd be stupid because, like, that's what I've just paid my staff to do and that's my business. So I think for you is keep practicing, do the 3 months, source, find what works, and then keep doing it, but keep finding new ways. But be grateful for the fact that you've had to go through that struggle, because that struggle is going to stop a lot of other people doing it. And that's the reason why you can make the profit you can make. It's not easy, it's hard, but it does work, but you just got to try. I hate to say it, welcome to business. Business isn't easy. Like, 90% of businesses fail in 5 years. Like, it's crazy. SM, hi. Wholesale or online arbitrage for beginners, what's your opinion? OA, lower budget. Wholesale's a lot harder just because you generally need to buy bigger bulks. Like, you can kind of turn it around. Let's go through Ross P. Okay, thanks. Just making sure. Okay, Ross, cool. Guys, if you've got questions, drop them down below. Carlos, hey Tom, my team and I just reached 6 figures a month in the USA. Wow, man on fire. I'm thinking about starting a UK store. How would you go about it if you lived in the USA? My advice, you could do it a couple of ways. You could do what's known as global selling. So you could use your USA store and sell into the UK, which is like, okay, if you're going to ship, but if you're buying from the UK, you probably want a UK entity. Now, I'd speak to an accountant. Just type in e-commerce accountants UK. The top one, you'll be like ecommerceaccountants.co.uk. They're the people who we deal with. I'd call them up and have a conversation with them. They would know better than I would. So there's two ways you can kind of do it. One is you create a whole new company in the UK, which is a UK company, which is a completely different like entity, kind of, which is then you have a UK company, which is fine. There's three ways. One, global selling on your USA account. You can do that fine, but if you're buying from the UK, then you're going to have a billing address in the US. That's a slight problem. The other one is what you can do is called create like a pass-through entity. You'll know about it from LLCs. You can create a UK limited company, and then that that is a subsidiary of the US LLC. So then it passes through all the tax and revenue back to the UK, but you could probably use it as a billing address. Again, speak to the e-commerce accountants. Or the other one, and then also all the tax filing would generally be done in the US as opposed to the UK. But then the final one would be you create a whole new separate entity, which is a UK limited company, which isn't linked to that one. You can loan money between them. That's absolutely fine. I would probably speak to the e-commerce accountants guys and also probably your US-based accountants, because they'll have other clients doing this. You want to find out like what's the most tax efficient way. Your other question would probably be looking at building credit facilities. That would be it. Yeah, but my first part of advice would be speak to UK accountants, speak to your USA accountants, and ask them, this is what we're looking to do. We want to scale over. What would you recommend? What do your other clients do? And I think that would be my best bit of advice. And then start kind of like asking questions around that, like if we want to go down this route, this is what everyone else does. Why is that? I hope that makes sense. And hey, well done for 6 figures a month. We've just done it as well. And like, oh my God, like super impressive. I know you guys are absolutely smashing it. I see all the parties. Hashtag jealous. Keep up the great work and let me know how you get on. And also I'll come over and say hi soon. All About Music, this live will be saved to rewatch here later. Yeah, like you can just go to Fast Track FBA, look at the YouTube channel, click on videos, and then you just kind of change over from like, it says like sort by past. You can just click on live and see all the historic lives. They're all there. So you can see them. What's your take on sourcing software? I talked about it earlier. We don't use it because two things. Number one, I think everyone else gets the deals. And number two, if you look at all the big sellers, like 7-figure a year sellers, they all use VAs. They don't use sourcing software. So we just, success leaves clues, follow them. Any good prep center that you can recommend for the USA? Yeah, we put them down here. I'm not going to recommend them because like, I've done it before and we just got bombarded and it ruined our selling account because they've been so slow. So if you want to buy a course, £97 with my recommendation for a prep center for USA, you can there. And I explain why I like it. But I think I won't publicly mention it now because I did used to do it and it caused they just got overloaded and it caused my shipments to slow down. At the end of the day, well, I want to recommend good people. If they're going to take on too many customers and it's going to affect my business, then I'll stop recommending them. So I'll recommend the people who are doing it. So check out the course. It says in there. Hope that makes sense. Any method on how to find a replan item? Yeah, find one and just keep sourcing. They always change. Learn to read Keepa. Probably that's a good idea. Read Keepa. Just keep sourcing. It depends what you mean by replan. For us in our business, any ASIN that we buy more than once in any 12-month period is technically classified as a replan. So that's what we do. But that might be that they're on sale in February and again in July, but in March they stop being sold. So technically that's a replenishable for us, but you might not classify it as one. So just, I think, be more open to what the idea of a replenishable could be. It doesn't necessarily mean it's always replenished. SM, guys, if you've got questions, drop them down below. I appreciate you got 15 minutes and I'm on my last question. So SM, oh, by the way, if you like, give me a big thumbs up. Hit the like button. It just lets the YouTube algorithm know that you like the live. Maybe I should do more of them. There's an item that is selling on Amazon, but it won't let me add. It's saying the barcode doesn't match the ASIN, so it doesn't let me continue. How are other FBA sellers able to add listing? I can't. I don't know the answer. Seller support. Raise an issue with seller support. I'm guessing you're not giving the barcode. Like when you're trying to add the item, you're not trying to do it by the barcode. You're trying to add it by ASIN. If you're not, then try that. But I don't. If you're trying to add the barcode, then I can see how you're getting that error. But if you're not, then I don't think you should be getting it. So number one, just try adding it to your inventory by ASIN, not by barcode. And then number 2, if that isn't working, sales support. Hope that makes sense. Cool. As a beginner, should I only look into clearance sections? Hell no. My God, like look everywhere. There's so many deals out there. So many deals. Clearance sections are like, it's okay, but like you're definitely not going to get replens in the clearance section. I'll tell you that, because they're clearance and they don't replenish. There are a lot of products that you can buy at full price, which are replenishable. That's where you find replenishables. Guys, if you've got questions, let me know down below. I appreciate it. We've got about 13 minutes left. I will go into the office after that, but I want to help you guys out, answer any questions. Is there anything I can answer? Do let me know. My business, I'll give you a quick update. You know, we've done the 7. I'm really happy. We've done the 7,000, 7,000? not 7 figures, 6 figures per month in the USA. Super, super happy about that. I'll see if I can get you a kind of little graph. We've just done over 500,000 in the last month. So June, just finished it. We're in June now? May, sorry. So in our first 12 months, we did 500,000 in sales in the USA. We did over 100,000 in the last month, which I'm really happy with. And, you know, like we are moving a lot of money over to the US because we're seeing just so much better margins. There's something to do. I have one more question that is, what is the connection of buy box rotation with sales and how to win the buy box? So there is no connection with buy box rotation and sales. Well, there might be for you individually, but generally the way to think about it is like a listing. So you go to like a Lego product, selling, let's say for example, 100 sales per month on average. That's what the tool's saying. We never know for sure their sales estimations. Number 2 is there might be 5 sellers on that listing. And if they're all at the same price, all doing FBA or sell and fulfillment, and there is like a whole stuff about how to win the buy box, the videos, check that out. But they're just going to rotate out that, you know, the buy box equally, so they'll all get like 20% of the time on the buy box. Now that should mean, in theory, they all get 1/5 of the sales, i.e., 20 sales. You know, of 1/5 of the 100, 20 sales each, and that's the way it works. Now, obviously, if one had a much lower price than the other 4, then they'd probably win the buy box a much higher percentage of the time, and the net result would be they'd make more, the higher percentage of those 100 listing sales. That's the way it generally works. But I think for you, like, there's a lot of videos I've done about how to win the buy box, how we understand the buy box. Really check that out. That will help you out. And the really important one is, that's kind of looking at in advance. The really important one, if you are on the listing already, you can do what's known as Seller Central I think it's Seller Central business reports, and then looking at like I think it's buy box or sales by child ASIN. That sits on the bottom left, and you can see buy box percentage wins over a certain period of time. So you can set the period and see the buy box percentage wins. So then you can see how well you're doing. So I think that's really, really helpful. So, but yeah, let me know if there's anything else I can do. That'd be my top tip. But I've done so many videos on this on my channel. Check them all out. It'll help you out. Really appreciate it. Cool. Hit thumbs up on the like on the channel. For dealers, why do you use multiple tool software? Just one is better than the rest. Because they're all estimations. Like, don't get me wrong, we only use like Keepa and SAS, Seller Amp primarily. We have all the tools. My team use that primarily. Just to kind of check. Like, I always like to have a quick look and guide, like maybe it's just historic. Like, you could just use one. SAS has the Keepa data built into it as well. So you could use one, but you know, I'm an old man. Like, I like to check both of them. So it's quite good. And Keepa's really good. Even Al Carton, the guy who created SAS, says, look, you don't need Keepa, but he would still recommend it. It's still a very good tool, and it gives you a lot more information than SAS does, even though SAS uses the same data. So, you know, but I still recommend SAS. I think it's a great product. Ross P, 1 out of 2. I just had a complaint about someone reporting authenticity of my product, which is annoying. The picture of digital advocacy invoice. Yeah, fine. We've had that many times. Not a problem. And I'm just going to jump over to Ross P's second one. But it was from a retail store. I'm not sure how to get an invoice. The product's been, and Amazon account, maybe I'm not sure what to do. Get the invoice. Like, honestly, like, you may be deactivated. Yeah, I think we had that as well. But we probably get 1 a week in authenticity. Every single one we get the thing. But like, even if you buy it, look, first things first, if you buy something from a retail store, i.e. RA, make sure you get a proper receipt. And if you can't get a proper receipt, go take it back, or like go buy it or unless you've already bought it from another supplier doing an OA receipt of the same volume. That's fine. I'm not saying you should do that, but you can. But then the idea is to say that, like, if you're getting one of those like little really like, you know, like toy £10 items. That's all it says. It's not good enough. Like, you're just risking your account. But if you bought it from like a retail store online, fine. Send them an email, get the receipt, you'll be fine. Like, honestly, we've done that so many times. I might make a video about it. Kindly share some tips for beginners. Check out my sourcing playlists. Top tip for beginners there. AJL, do you still offer your one-to-one business overview sessions? Apologies if I've opened the floodgates there. Are you still taking on new clients? No. So like, I never really offered them. That was like, oh my God, that was maybe like 2-3 years ago. So long story short is I still do coaching, but I won't lie, it's insanely expensive. And it's because I'm so busy. Like, I'm off to Europe for a month at the end of this month. But then the other one we did do temporarily was my operations manager for my 2 Amazon businesses was doing one-to-one coaching with up to 4 people. Still going on, but like, we're not looking to extend that. There is a reason for it, and you'll find out later. But like, that's just to make sure that he's up to speed where he needs to be about supporting clients. So sorry, it's not something we do. But you can do coaching with me. My God, questions are coming in. I better be quick. Thanks for the questions, guys. What tool should I buy starting OA? Get Seller Amp. I really like it. I think it's a really good tool. Obviously, in a professional selling account, not individual. Professional selling account, Seller Amp. That's all you need. There's a couple of like how to get started for £500, like videos that I've done that kind of talk about that, like how to get seller reviews as a seller tool, seller board. We recommend. You can just try all the repricers, check them out. I think we're going to release another video which will be like step-by-step how to do it. But Seller Amp is a great tool for the calculator, and it has everything you need. Ross P, I've answered that one already. Hey, what's the current wait time for sourcing VA? 3 weeks. I've got an update today. It's coming down. It's really good. If you think about the long term, where should I put my focus more on OA? Oh my God, don't do OA wholesale and private label. Like, OA and wholesale, okay. I wouldn't even do that. I'd just do one of OA or wholesale, but definitely don't do OA, wholesale, and private label. Like, they are so different. Like, they're completely different. No, not at all. It's up to you. Pick one, do that. Stop diversifying. Time is money. Focus your energy. Bro is LLC, mandatory for OA or not? No, you can do it under your own name. Speak to an accountant. And how much budget required for online arbitrage? I know people who start with 500, but ideally you want to have a couple of thousand to get going. I think, if you've got like 2,000 to 4,000, you'll be okay. If you can get 10,000, great. A lot of people you see, like, I started with 500, now I'm doing 6 figures a month. What do they really mean? Well, I started with 500, I tested the model and it worked, and then I got a 10 grand credit card. So really they started with 10,500, and that's how they do it. They just don't really kind of mention the credit card part and how they scale. Because even at like 50% ROI, starting at 500 and turning twice, every 2 months, which is pretty quick, you're not going to get to 6 figures anytime soon. It's using debt. That's how people do it. So I'll be honest there. Millie, thanks for the info. No problem. Appreciate your help. Cool. No problem. Thanks for the questions. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. 5 minutes. Let's go. Can I use retail seats on IP? If the retail seat is very clear, very good, it's got the proper supplier address, full Argos details. It's got exactly what the thing is. Ideally, the barcode on the retail receipt, what it is, date purchase, quantity, everything there, VAT numbers, etc. You might be okay. They are harder than using online arbitrage invoices, like the paper invoice that they give you through email. They're a lot easier. We get them, but not necessarily. It depends on the IP complaint and what's going on. But retail receipts are a lot harder. Just be careful. It looks like, by the way, if you want to know that one, fasttrackfba.com/tools, all the tools we use, scroll right down to the bottom. There's a guy called Jeff who we use, who does our IP complaints. Might be worth having a chat with him. He can help you out as well. There's like a lawyer and retainer. Map, it looks like people with wholesale accounts are getting the things cheaper than someone who's purely doing OA. How would you compete with them? Well, looks can be deceiving. Sometimes you're right, sometimes they're not. The reason why you've got to think about it is just think about supply chain. You have the manufacturer, they go to the distributor or wholesaler, then they go to your competitor, and then they sell on Amazon. So that's like 2 people, that's like someone in between the manufacturer and not. And then think about the other one. Well, it might be a manufacturer going to Walmart. Walmart buys a massive bulk, you buy from Walmart and then sell on Amazon. So a lot of time, Walmart might sell at very low prices as like a loss leader to get people in with their kind of like promo on Legos. So don't necessarily think that. Generally speaking, you should probably make more money on OA, but it's harder to scale. But once you get volume in purchasing and wholesale, you can get some really good deals. But I think for you is keep negotiating discounts, speak to suppliers, use voucher codes. That's it. Or move into wholesale. That's all I can really say. I can't really say. It's up to you. Congrats on the 6 figures in USA. Thank you, man. Also, what repricer do you currently use? I've tried many and find that a lot of them tend to compromise profits too much. Yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie. We use Seller Toolkit SDK. You go to the fasttrackfba.com/tools and you'll see that it does profit and loss and thing. It has like automations where I really like them because it moves between, and then it will do it on an ROI. You like margin, of course, but you can kind of do the same calculation. So we use SDK Seller Toolkit. It's super cheap. It's not even expensive, but it's good. I do like it. And don't get me wrong, like they all talk about like AI repricing something. Like I just don't believe half of it. I think at the end of the day, you just got to go through and set some really good rules and figure how it goes. If in your model, the person I'd really look at is Scott Needham, Buy Boxer, and he does a lot of talking about how he will use just a generic repricer, but he'll feed it new data every day. So what you might want to look at is instead of like trying to get a perfect repricer, think about just set some very simple rules, and every day you're updating which rule the deal works on, depending on like age of the inventory. That's the way we work. It works quite well. But yeah, like don't try and find the perfect repricer. I just don't think they really exist. Why? Because the real thing you want to look at in repricing is stock levels of your competitors. That's the way, and no one does that because technically it's not allowed. And if it was, and it's not allowed, and if they did do it, then they wouldn't be able to integrate with Amazon's API, and that's the problem. So that's the thoughts. Next one, Ebe34. What do you think about Amazon Virtual Systems? Do you think Amazon Virtual Systems are? Yeah, no, I know they are. My God. We're training 20 VAs a week right now. They're still in demand. Like, and trust me, we're going to have another 10 VAs by the end of this year across both businesses. So much, like, there's so much opportunity. Like, you need them, like 100%. What tools should I buy for starting online? I think I answered that one. SaaS, I really like it. Seller Amp, I like it. Question on Fast Track FBA leads. Are they primary leads that can be sustainable replenishals? I can't answer that one. I really can't. I can't tell you the product we're finding today will be replenished. That's like, I would be lying to you. Like if I said, yeah, they would be. Like, are there going to be leads that you can replenish? Yeah, of course. Are there going to be leads that we think might be replenishable, which won't because maybe the supplier stops supplying them? Yeah, like that's it. We just can't answer that question. And I have to be honest, because I have no control over the suppliers who are supplying the product that we provide the lead for. So I couldn't say they're replenishable or not. Hope that makes sense. Trying to be honest. Some products mine aren't selling for quite some time. What to do? Drop the price generally and learn how to manage the buy box. And then finally, final one for the day, Keepa are putting their prices up. No, I don't think they are. I think Keepa are putting their prices up for the API, but they're not putting it up for the tool. I didn't see an update on the tool. The API prices are going up, but just not. I don't think the tool is. I think that makes sense. I'm so worried to scale to do Amazon IB claims. Last one cost me £500. Yeah, no, I really understand. But at the end of the day, like, my God, if I stopped when I first had the first IP complaint, I would never have got to like 4 million in sales or 3.5 in the UK now. Like business is inherently risky. That's a fact. But we learn, we get better. The game never gets easier. You just get better at playing it. Remember that. That's life. Life never gets easier. You just get better at playing the game. That's it. So on that wonderful note, I just want to say, guys, thank you so much for honestly sharing. If you like this, give me a big thumbs up. And hey, hit the subscribe button, usual YouTube stuff. And I'll see you same time next week. We are like there. We come in. That's the times we come in every week. I'll do that. I might be away for a few weeks in Europe, but I hope that makes sense. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining. And I will see you same time next week. Stay safe. Hit the like button. Bye.